Hey everyone, I'm Austin,
I'm Mitch.
and this is Super Platinum Achievement. More news, SPA, VGN, game news you might have missed. A special edition.
Xbox Edition.
So Xbox, following Sony's lovely launch of the pre-orders, came out and said, don't worry, our pre-orders will be much better. We will let you know exactly when they go live. And they did. And the problem was, well, actually, we got a live look right now.
Yeah, let's check it out.
How theirs went too.
So it wasn't any better.
Yeah.
And in some ways, it might have made it worse because everybody knew that for us, it was 9 a.m.
Jinx, buy me a Coke.
And everybody got on the websites at the exact same time. So Best Buy, Amazon, Target,
And the
they
website
were all
and the website
crashed.
servers were like, guess I'll die. And they just failed miserably.
They just didn't work at all.
And he had the same. I didn't try to get the Xbox. I was working at the time, so
I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try.
so we didn't get the PlayStation. So he's like, well, just gonna go for it.
Yep,
Whatever.
I'm just gonna go for it. We'll do a fun unboxing.
And you had the same
Issue, except with Walmart. Last time it was Best Buy. This time I got one in Walmart. Added it to my cart.
And it
let me fill out everything: my shipping address, my payment method. Got to the end. It's like, JK, LOL, it's gone.
Yeah, and so it was just a disaster in a different way, but it still ended up the same dumpster
Same
fire
outcome.
of pre-orders. And actually, it
Xbox.
might have actually been a worse disaster because so we talked about this in previous videos about how the name is already going to kill
Oh my
them.
word.
The Xbox Series X and Xbox Series X is so similar to the Xbox One X, Xbox One. I don't know.
Xbox One S, Xbox One X.
Yeah. So people actually bought the wrong Xbox thinking they're geting the Series X.
The Xbox
People bought the One
One
X.
X skyrocketed in sales
Yeah.
on Amazon.
And because it's the same price.
Yeah.
So people thought that was the one and they bought it. And or maybe it was like a parent who didn't know, or people that just saw Xbox X and they were like, they
Quick,
panicked,
do it now!
Do it now, buy it now, and then they realized they bought an Xbox that's been out for 2 years.
Yeah. That's discontinued on
Yeah.
top of it.
So honestly, that's almost a worse disaster.
They were pretty. Both of them were
It was
awful.
bad. It was. We
at
can
least-
we could do a comparison live, like side by
Yeah,
side.
let's look at them side by side. Yeah, about the same.
Yeah.
At least Sony admitted it was bad. Xbox hasn't said anything.
they even apologized for it. So,
But they did say, "Don't worry, we will have more at launch." But they were more celebratory, like, "Oh, we're so, ecstatic about the high demand that we had."
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what makes it worse, saying, "Don't worry, we're ready for it," and then them not going, "Whoops, sorry," or
They were just both bad in
Yeah,
their own
I don't
horrible
know.
way.
So
But yeah, that comes out November 10th, so 2 days before the PlayStation 5. But they actually are doing what we have a video that how can Xbox win this generation, and I think they watched it.
yeah, they must have. They really, aside from the name, because that was one thing that a con that
Yep.
they couldn't come back from, and it's already bitten them right in the butt.
But they're doing everything.
But everything else that we talked about in that video, they did.
They've got more exclusives,
Yes.
like with Avowed, and Medium, and Everwild. And then they undercut Sony on price, and this was almost my exact prediction. I
Yeah.
said, if the digital version, the rumored at the time Series S, can undercut the digital PlayStation by $100, then they can sell consoles.
Yes.
And that's exactly what they did.
The only takeaway is the Series S is not the same machine as the Series
Right.
X, whereas on the Sony side, they are the same console. So the
The-
Series S is going to be a 1440, which
Mm-hmm.
is essentially 2K, and will have certain 4K upscaling abilities, similar to what we see in the PlayStation 4 Pro and the Xbox
The GPU,
One X.
yeah, the GPU is a significant downgrade. The CPU,
Is
however,
an upgrade than the series, the One X.
than the One X, and it's barely a downgrade from the Series X. You won't notice a
Yeah,
difference.
you probably won't if you're a casual gamer and just wants to play FIFA or Madden or something like that. It's actually kind of perfect, and it's actually kind of perfect for someone like me who owns a computer and maybe, not where
Or for someone who just wants it for Game Pass.
Yeah, for Game Pass. But like a friend of mine brought this up. He's like, well, I have my computer in my room. What if I want to go to my living room and play something?
Yeah.
Then I just have a $300 console there
Exactly.
that has all my stuff on it still. And I didn't think about that at the time. Like, oh, that actually is kind of a smart idea. Having a slightly cheaper console.
So they did that, and then another thing that I said that they need to do, one thing that they've done really well is Game Pass. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, they need to double down on Game Pass.
They did. Yeah.
And they did. They have doubled down on Game Pass, and that's going to be their seller is Game Pass, to be honest. They've got tons of great games on there. All their titles are coming to Game Pass at launch, including some third-party titles as well.
And through Game Pass, I just saw this. You can actually install a game before you actually buy it. Mm-hmm. So, like, say you're like planning on buying it, and you're like, "Oh, I get paid Friday. I can't buy it till Friday." But you can install it before then. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as you get paid, you can buy the game and play it right away.
Ready to play it.
Which
Kinda
is
like
actually
pre-ordering a digital copy.
Which it's not an unusual thing, but that's only when you pre-order a game before it comes out.
Right.
So it's kind of a nice feature to have that available for every game you want to play.
Yeah.
So, which is kind of cool, because I know a lot of people are like, well, I wanted to play this, but I couldn't get it, or maybe you're at work and you buy it, download it on your phone, then as soon as you get home, you can buy it or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, the pre-orders, that was September 22nd. Huge disaster there. The prices, their main console, same as PlayStation 5.
$499.
And then $299
Yes.
for the Series S. $100 cheaper than the digital version. And then we got some huge news. I don't know if let's talk about the expandable memory first.
So it's actually today, I guess whenever we recorded this video, Xbox announced they said what their SSD, so their storage expansion is going to be, and it's a proprietary one just for the Xbox. But because of that, it comes at a pretty penny at $220.
Apparently they didn't own a PlayStation Vita.
Yes.
And didn't learn that lesson from Sony. Don't make your memory proprietary.
Yeah. So that's just for the, I don't know what the 2 terabyte.
That's a 1 terabyte.
1 terabyte expansion.
Yeah.
So what
$220 for 1 terabyte expansion to make it a total of 2.
Yes. So you can add it to what's, I guess, in there already.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a computer in that sense, where you can just add it in there instead of swapping it out, which is what Sony has said they're going to do with the PlayStation 5. Mm-hmm. But then their SSDs are, for 2 terabytes, half the cost. So,
yeah. I mean, yes, it's going to be easier for Xbox to just pop something in there, but $220.
Yeah, after you already just spent, and I'm assuming that's only the Series X version and not the Series S version.
Yeah, I don't. I think the Series S has the expandable.
Okay,
as well. I'm not
but still, you just dropped, let's just say, $500 on a brand new console, and then you fill it up in a matter of, let's be honest, with Game Pass, you probably could fill it up really, really fast.
You could, if you wanted to, you could fill it up day one with Game Pass.
And then all of a sudden you got to drop $220 more bucks on for expansion. Not to mention controllers, headsets. I'm just like, ugh.
Controllers, though, that's one thing they're doing that's nice, is the Xbox One controllers will carry over. So they've done a lot of consumer-friendly things, but the biggest news in video games...
If you haven't seen this, I don't know where you've been.
Yeah, but it's the biggest news in video games maybe ever. I mean, I don't remember anything being this big.
It's pretty big news.
And I'd say it's even bigger than the news of the one I remember was when Sega went under. And this is might be right up there. Maybe not quite as big, because Sega was, a big player. But Microsoft bought Bethesda with ZeniMax.
Yes. For $7.5 billion. That's with the B.
Mexico.
To compare that price, Sony's profit for 2019 was just over $8 billion.
Yeah. So they bought Bethesda, who...
They took an annual income for Sony and bought Bethesda.
Which, Bethesda was already a very, very successful developer. Yeah. So, I saw that, I was like, this is kind of shocking. Because I'm, thinking about it and things like they had their own E3 press conferences on stage and everything. After Microsoft did theirs.
Yeah.
for 2-3 years in a row. I'm like, this is a weird. It's not them buying Ninja Theory, who was a small indie developer that made a great game of
Right.
Hellblade and helped them make a sequel. This is Bethesda, who made Skyrim, Fallout, Doom, all these games.
Wolfenstein.
They
I own the Deathloop.
So that's actually some drama coming out because everyone's like, well, where was this? Because Sony has the exclusives for Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo.
Right.
So Bethesda said they're going to honor those, or whatever Microsoft said that they will honor those for the PlayStation, and then every game after that will be a case-by-case basis.
Yeah.
So I know we actually off camera did discuss a little bit of this. We're thinking the main games like Fallout, Elder Scrolls will be all platform. Because you got to keep in mind, this doesn't just cut Sony out of the deal, it cuts Nintendo out of the deal.
Yeah.
Nintendo has been picking up a lot of Bethesda games. Wolfenstein, Doom, Elder Scrolls have been moved to the Switch and actually done really well.
Yeah, especially Skyrim.
Especially Skyrim. But then, it's like you cut two people out of the market where,
Microsoft is too financially savvy to do that because
they did the same
making
thing.
them 100% exclusive would lose them money. They're just gonna be like, "Yep, now we're making money from PlayStation."
It was the same. It was the same thing that they did when they bought Crystal Dynamics, or they didn't buy them; they just paid them a ton of money to have Tomb Raider come out for their console first. But they initially, I think it was only supposed to be their console, and then realized they lost a lot of money on the deal, and then ended up releasing Rise of the Tomb Raider later. For the PlayStation, and it actually outsold the Xbox version.
Yeah,
which is hilarious.
Because Tomb Raider fans, I mean, it's from PlayStation.
Yeah,
but
so
I think a great comparison for this is when Microsoft bought Mojang a few years back. And what's crazy is that Minecraft is the biggest game of all time. It's the #1 selling game of all time. Everybody owns it, and they only paid $2.5 billion for Mojang. And I'd say Minecraft has probably made more money by itself than all of Bethesda's titles. And that's why Bethesda, like you said, they're an extremely successful company, but when they flashed $7.5 billion, they're like, okay.
So, there's been really no rumor, other than that, what happened, how it's going to be. How much controls Microsoft going to have on them? Are they just going to kind of
the CEO of Bethesda did say it's business as usual for us.
Todd
that
Howard,
Microsoft is kind of letting us do our own thing.
Which is smart. It's kind of how Sony bought Kojima and just let him do whatever the heck he wanted, and then Death Stranding became a thing, and no one still knows what it means. And there's babies and BBs and I don't know.
Yeah, strange
BTs.
Swamp-looking creatures. But
so, who knows? Who knows what's going to come out of this?
The biggest thing about this, and this is when I said they're doubling down on Game Pass, is they now have the rights to put all Bethesda titles on Game Pass. And that's huge for people that don't want to shovel out, even for the ones that are older, like Skyrim. You're going to be shoveling out still $30 to buy that.
Yeah, because the Legendary Edition, and then a bit even... Well, and this is actually a thing, is you cannot play, especially for PC, Fallout 3 on PC right now. Because there's no Windows 10 version of it. So if they can find a way to make, have a way to do Fallout 3 through the Game Pass, that'd be huge.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, trying to get Fallout 3 to run on your computer right now is kind of a pain in the butt, to be honest. I tried, and I was like, no, I don't know enough about computers to go in there and trick it thinking it's running on Windows 8, and but it's not. I don't know, it's really weird. So that could be kind of cool, but
that's huge, having those titles.
And this is also other speculation is Bethesda and Obsidian are now together under Microsoft's umbrella. And if all you savvy gamers out there,
you know what that means.
Obsidian made Fallout New Vegas, which is regarded as still the best Fallout game ever made. Could we see another collaboration for an RPG in the future? I would like to say so.
Yeah.
Another New Vegas.
And Obsidian actually made a joke of a tweet about it. As soon as they saw the news, Obsidian's like,
because now Microsoft can say so. So
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised, especially how good Outer Worlds was. But yeah, we discussed, we think the big games, Doom, Wolfenstein, all that stuff is going to be all cross-platform.
All
But then-
established franchises that have a fan base.
But then the other ones, maybe some stuff coming out of Arcane, they're doing Deathloop, but other stuff like that from the lesser tier of. So it's weird. Bethesda is like the publisher and a developer, but then they also have developers under their wing, like Arcane, id, which did Doom, and Wolfenstein, and then Wolfenstein is also. Oh, I don't remember what it is.
Grab it back there.
Yeah, it's. I'm blanking off it right now. Where is it?
Right there, the red one in the middle.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
If you can get it out from underneath.
Cool. Machine Games.
There you go.
Machine Games.
Yeah.
So it's like those are like the lesser studios. So maybe other stuff will be coming out of those studios that will only be Microsoft exclusives.
Right.
Kind of what I'm thinking. Because I don't think it'd be a smart decision to be like, well, Elder Scrolls only on Xbox. Because people will be like,
Well, you're going to have Sony fanboys and loyals that are going to be like, guess I'm not playing that game.
yeah. So, I mean, Elder Scrolls probably has been more connected to Xbox than PlayStation over the years.
Yeah,
because
Morrowind and originally
Oblivion. Oblivion released late to the PlayStation 3, and then the versions of Skyrim that came out on the Xbox 360 and the PS3 were not the same. Because at the time it was harder to develop for the PlayStation 3 because it was a more complex console, and so they kind of just took the easy way and just kind of did a cheaper port off the Xbox version. But Fallout, on the other hand, I consider that more of a PlayStation group than Xbox. I could be totally wrong, but that's just how I feel personally.
That's how I've always seen it, and I've always been extremely unbiased. I've owned multiple consoles, never been a huge fanboy of either one. Obviously, you can tell when I agree with one or prefer one more, but I've always viewed Fallout as PlayStation fan base, and Elder Scrolls more so Xbox fan.
So
fan
we'll
base.
see. Obviously, all this will be on PC, so it's irrelevant to really me. I might force you to buy an Xbox now.
Yeah, I don't have a gaming PC, so I am going to be in a position where do I, drop $1,500 on building a good gaming PC, or do I just go, let's spend $500 and
Or even $299 on the Series S. So
I'm going to go. I'll get the.
You're gonna get
best
the
one.
mini fridge, of course.
Yeah.
That was kind of the biggest news for Microsoft. So only time will tell.
They're now back in the game, in my opinion, because specifically because of Game Pass.
Yeah.
Because like he was saying, people that don't want to pay the money to build a PC or don't have a PC and like consoles better, they're going to buy one, and Game Pass, you're going to have every game that matters to an Xbox fan on Game Pass. And they won't have to drop, now that we know, next-gen software is $70 a piece. They're not going to have to do that. They pay $15 a month, and boom, they get them.
Yeah.
So that's a huge leg up for Xbox there. Is it enough to overtake Sony in this generation? We will see.
Well, and I'm just going to say no, because Sony generally does better worldwide than Xbox does.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be more of how they do in the States, I think, personally, because in Japan, PlayStation's going to just kill Microsoft. And because I think Microsoft does well in America and Europe. And then everywhere else, I think Sony's pretty much king.
But
so we'll see.
We'll see. Time will tell.
But maybe not. Maybe Xbox has got it up their sleeve this time to actually kind of take some of Sony's territory.
Yeah. Or Nintendo's just going to be like, haha, you guys are silly, and keep selling 2 billion Switches a day. So
with the upgraded Switch that's rumored to be coming soon.
Yes, which we will have a video about that as well.
So
in
kind of
a day or so.
Kind of looking forward to see how more news, because ever since that happened, it's kind of just been dead air. So we don't know what the deal is going to be. It's not going to happen until 2021. When in 2021, we don't really know yet. So it's exciting time to follow the gaming news.
Yeah.
And Microsoft, after this happens, says we're still open to buying more studios. So
yeah,
who knows?
Immediately after that, everybody started throwing out studio names, saying they're gonna buy Sega. And it's like, whoa, calm down. Where did that come from?
If anyone's buying Sega, it's gonna be Nintendo.
Yeah, right. But we'll see. Obviously, Microsoft as a company has more money than Nintendo and Sony combined, because they have such a wider array of things. And
I guess
been established forever.
Sony does too, but they divide it differently, I think.
Well, I mean, you look at the profit. Sony's profit for last year was just over $8 billion.
The company of
Exactly.
Sony, yeah, okay. I know Microsoft makes a ton of money, no doubt there.
It was like $8 billion for Sony, and it was $49 billion for Microsoft.
That's
and then
insane.
Nintendo was $3.5 billion. So, but once again, Microsoft does everything, including Windows,
Yeah.
obviously.
Well,
Sony
yeah.
does, TVs, monitors, and then PlayStation, and audio things. And then there's Nintendo that does just video games.
Playing cards,
Yeah. And
some
video games and
cardboard,
merchandise.
some cardboard, I think, is thrown in there for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That actually speaks a lot to Nintendo. 3.3 billion off just video games. But anyway,
Because
we'll talk
they
more.
outsell on video games. So.
Yeah. So we got lots of news for Nintendo as well. If you like these kinds of videos, video game news that you might have missed, make sure to give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button,
Ring the notification bell.
and always stop by with us here at Super Platinum Achievement.